Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
All right. We should be good.
Test.
There we go. Well, welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. We had some technical difficulties earlier today, so sorry about that. But we're going to try to go ahead and bring you the best preview that we can for the upcoming Canelo and Munguia fight. So we're here with Steph and also the one and only, the infamous Fernandez.
You already know what it is. Puro Exit 7, Puro
Puro
Marbach
Exit.
in the house. Big
All
fight night weekend.
Yeah, so sorry to Jesse James, man. Sorry we weren't able to get you on, dude. We are having some gremlins today.
Yeah,
we worked through it the best we could.
Yeah, real quick. Shout out to Jesse James Leija, San Antonio boxing legend. He was on deck ready to talk with us. I appreciate his time. He's been a champion, a boxing promoter. For those of y'all don't know who he is, you're living under a rock, man. He is San Antonio boxing legend, and his resume reads a who's a who. I mean, he's fought Gabriel as Jeff Mayweather, Shane Mosley, Juan Lascano, Ivan Robinson, Mickey Ward, Gotti, Kasia Zhu, Panchito Bojado, not to mention Oscar De La Hoya, right? I mean, he's been in the ring with everybody. He was going to give us some pretty good insight, but again, appreciate champ. He's going to, we'll get him on next time. Unfortunately we had those technical difficulties, but shout out to Jesse James Leija. Much love.
Hey, not only that, but Jesse James helped put San Antonio on the map, man.
Oh, absolutely.
It's because of people like Jesse James that everybody knows about San Antonio.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He fought a Zuma Nelson 4 times. I mean, he's you want to talk about fighters nowadays about who ducks who and who doesn't want to fight somebody, man. Look at Leija's Jesse James's resume, and he never shied away from nobody. He fought, I'm telling you, man, think about that. Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya, Gaddy, Ward, Kasia Zhu, Tim Zhu's father, right? Tim Zhu's a star in boxing now, and that's his father, right? So you think about the fighters that he fought in his time from the 80s, late 80s into the 90s and into the 2000s. And he gave a lot of those guys a run for money, and he beat some of those guys. He beat Mickey Ward. He beat Hector Camacho Jr. He beat, it ended up being a no contest because Camacho kind of punked out, but he was schooling him, right? He beat Panchito Bojado, who was like a highly touted Mexican Olympian back in the early 2000s. He came up with Cotto, Panchito Bojado, and Jesse James Leija took him to school. So, yeah, man, you talk about old school boxing and you talk about San Antonio boxing. You think about world champions that we've had, like in the past, like Robert Quiroga, John Michael Johnson, and Jesse James Leija. I mean, you can't talk San Antonio boxing without Jesse James Leija. And not only that, he's got a local boxing gym now with his sons that he runs, and he does a lot of good things for the city, for the community. He's just a stand-up dude, man, and he's just a straight up 210 cat, man. So again, man, it's unfortunate that we couldn't have him on here because it would have been awesome to hear some of his insight. He also was a promoter for a while. He did Leija Bata Promotions, which was involved with Canelo when he did fight here in San Antonio and fought Austin Trout. Even when Canelo fought James Kirkland, so Leija knows about promoting as well, so getting his insight into some of we'll talk about Oscar and Canelo a little bit later, but getting some of his insight was going to be huge. But again, shout out to Jesse James. Appreciate you being flexible. We'll get him on another time. But hey, we shout out to Joe. He got through these technical difficulties, and Steph, the producers, man. Hey, it's not easy being a producer, bro. Hey, I'm just the talent. You know what I mean? I just show up in my shades and whatever. I don't know. They're the ones who do all the stuff behind the scenes. So shout out to them to get us back up and running.
Well, Steph saw a little bit about producing today because we had to try to make things work, try to keep the show going. So
yep. Shout out to Hanover Fist. Oh, he's still there. Look at that. Hanover Fist remain with us through the technical difficulties and still there.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to cancel a show whenever we're here, especially when my man's in town.
Exactly. I'm in town from San Diego, so we're gonna make it happen. So again, tough to have those difficulties, but shout out to Joe and Steph for getting us back up and running.
Yeah, we're back up and running, so we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Canelo Munguia fight that's coming up. But shout out to you, Jesse James, for even donating some of your time to talk to us, man. We greatly appreciate you. Next time we get him on, we're not going to have technical difficulties at all. This is something new for us. I'm not used to having.
Oh no,
difficulties.
and I was texting him, throughout this. We couldn't hear. We got him on camera, but we couldn't hear him. He couldn't hear us, and I was texting him the whole time. And I'm like, brother, we never have. I know this sounds like it sounds like but no, we never have these difficulties, bro.
Almost 200 episodes.
I know, man. I know. So yeah, so it was a bad day to have a technical difficulties because we had a legend like Leija on ready for us, but it's all good. We rolled through it. Like I said, he was gracious and he told me, hey, next time I'll get back on another time. So again, appreciate
you're a true fighter too, because you know what, you go through adversity here.
Oh yeah,
push through.
Oh yeah, you got to,
like a true Marine.
Yeah. I mean, and then the good thing is that we all work well together. So we stayed calm. We're gonna get this shit done.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah, for sure.
And stay calm. So I was telling Steph too. I got to teach her more stuff about all the wiring and all that other stuff.
Hey, it's a lot, bro. Yeah. It's a lot. I'm telling you, man. I'm sitting here watching y'all do your thing, and like I said, man, I couldn't do any of that. I would freak out trying to mess with those wires, and Joe was connecting things and doing his thing, and Steph was, like I said, man, the producers, man, there's love there. Yeah, straight love.
Yeah. So we're a good team today. All three of us, man.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about the Canelo Munguia fight that's going to be coming up.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good fight, and we've already had a lot of trash talking, bro. It's like getting real personal. You know that always happens, right?
Yeah.
Every time they go out and they're gonna promote these fights, things get personal. They have everybody come out. The fighters, they got to put on a good show, get those people to pay for the pay-per-views and whatnot. But I'll tell you, the stars of the show here were Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya. Man, there's still some bad blood there, bro. What do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so going back to some history, Canelo's he's one of those typical Mexican fighters in the sense where he didn't have an extensive amateur background, right? He didn't have an Olympic run or anything like that. He cut his teeth as a 15-year-old in Mexico, turning pro really young, and beating fighters in Mexico and all that, right? He was building up his record in Mexico, wasn't really a star here in the States yet. And he, signed with Golden Boy Promotions, right? And it's tough, for those, there's, the business of boxing can be a little nasty sometimes, right? So when it comes to we know promoters as far as like Don King, Bob Arum, back in the day. Now you have Golden Boy, you have Eddie Hearn, you got Al Heyman with PBC. And the relationship between a promoter and a fighter can be a little tricky because, the promoter, his job is to promote his or her job is to promote the fight, market it, do all those things, but they also put up all the money. People don't know this. They put up all the money up front for an event, right? Basically, the promoter, in layman's terms, fronts everything from the fighter's pay to the chair, how many chairs are going to be out on the event. Real talk. I'm real talk. Yeah, they're the investors. So they put money out there. They put all the money up front. And if it flops, they're the ones that's going to take the hit, right? Because they got contracts to pay the fighters X amount or whatever. So in reality, like the promoter has a lot of risk about putting out putting up all the money for the fight or whatever, right? So then obviously once the fight makes money and the gate and the tickets and the pay-per-view sales and all that, the promoter gets their investment back, they pay their fighters or whatever, right? Now the promoter, a boxer has a manager, right? The manager is their investment is in the fighter, right? The manager is there to fight for their fighter, to make sure the fighter gets what they want. The promoter, I mean, I'm not saying that the promoter is not there for the fighter, but they're more worried about their company and their promotion and their brand, and because they have many other fighters that they promote, So anyway, just trying to give a little background to that. So Oscar and Canelo had a good working relationship back when Canelo was with Golden Boy, and they made a lot of money together, right? They made a lot of money together. And I think, it goes hand in hand. You can have the best promoter, but if you're not a good fighter, then it doesn't matter. Or sometimes you're a really good fighter, but if you don't have a good promotion company that puts you out there, then you're kind of not really being, known in the States or in big markets. So, so now fast forward, Canelo, just like, Mayweather, Pacquiao, got to a stature in their career where they really don't need a promoter. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what happens with these top level fighters. Oscar De La Hoya was similar. So Canelo went on his own and was a free agent, and he was working with Al Heyman. He was working with Eddie Hearn. He's worked with De La Hoya in different promotion settings, but somewhere in there, some bad blood emerged, you know, and I think it comes from this attitude where, like Oscar said it. If y'all, I'm sure everybody's seen that video where Oscar said, you know, hey, Golden Boy Promotions, you know, made Canelo, you know, put some fucking respect on my name, right? He said something to that effect, which was crazy, right? And it's funny when you watch that video because, again, Canelo, I mean, he understands English, but he's a, you know, it's his second language, and so it looked like it took him a while to realize that he was getting dissed, you know. And once he realized he was getting dissed, it was on, you know. So
because he said, "Que me dices?"
yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's a long-winded answer, I guess, to say, you know, that there's some bad blood between Oscar and Canelo, and you know, Oscar feels like, hey, I made Canelo. Golden Boy Promotions made Canelo. Like that's
under his brand.
Right, under his brand. That's how he feels about it. And I mean, to a certain extent, I understand what he's saying, because if you don't have a backing behind a big promotion company, I'm not saying you can't make it in the States or make a name for yourself, but it's harder, right? It's a lot harder to be. There's a lot of good fighters out there.
That promoter.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Right. It's like let's say you were you know, like let's say in the NBA, if you're a really good NBA team, but like they never showed you on TV, nobody would know. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, basically it's the exposure, right? It's putting you out there. So, to a certain degree, I think the promotion company did help Canelo, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to say, you know, we made you, because Canelo also has to have his part. So it's a marriage, right? It's a marriage. Like the promotion company has to do their job, but the fighter has to do their job. And Canelo has done his job, and he's won all the fights that he, you know, that most of the fights that he got put in front of when he won all the fights with Golden Boy, if I'm not mistaken.
That, man, we got to shout out Mario Cavazos.
Yeah, Mario Cavazos is our man. It's Friday,
you,
and we don't give a damn. Exactly.
It's Friday and we don't give a damn.
Exactly. Shout out to our man Mario Cavazos. Shout out to everybody that stuck with us through all those difficulties. But yeah, so it's interesting seeing all this hype between Canelo and Oscar. I mean, it's almost funny because you would think the fight's between Oscar and Canelo. Yeah. You know, Jaime Munguia is like chilling. Yeah, he's just chilling, you know. Smiling, yeah. He's chilling, right? He's just kind of there. But I also kind of get this sense where Jaime Munguia is like, damn, bro, like I got to get in the ring with him. Hey, you don't poke the bear.
But look at what Canelo said. He hit the nail right on the head, because he goes, you know, this is about Munguia. Mm-hmm. You know, and Oscar's taking the spotlight away from him. It's like, this is your fighter. It's not about you, bro.
Right. And I agree with that. You know, there's very few. It's like Jerry Jones, right? Being an owner, but always in front of the camera, right? Yeah. People don't like that. It's the same thing, right? Like Oscar De La Hoya as the promoter. Like, honestly, I've been watching boxing all my life. All of us have. I can't remember the last time a promoter was about to get into a fight with a fighter during a press conference. You know what I mean? Like, usually the two fighters are the ones that are in each other's faces. So Oscar, you know, Canelo made a point and basically said, like, you know, you're taking away from Munguia. Like, you're taking his spotlight away because you're the one that wants to be in the front of cameras and you want to be there and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's something there. What do you think, babe?
I mean, we really haven't heard much from Munguia either.
Yeah.
It could probably be something on the sense of that. And he's like, man, I got to start selling my own show because my own fighter isn't doing it. And it could be triggering for De La Hoya. And as far as like, when I see Canelo, I just feel like, you know, he's like the gentleman's gentleman. He ain't going to talk shit unless you bring something up, then he's going to squash it. And he just like that look, like, really? You won't bring up old shit?
Yeah.
Like you want to do that?
Yeah.
I don't think you want to. But.
Yeah, no, true.
Hey, true. You know what? You could tell that Canelo don't want that he wants to get Oscar, but Oscar doesn't want none of that smoke from Canelo.
Nah.
Because you know what? He started backing up, but as soon as Canelo's crew came to kind of pull him back, then he stood his ground like he's some type of chingon.
Yeah.
No mames, way.
Yeah.
You were running away.
Yeah. Hey, Oscar's the one who started it, man. He started talking that trash, you know, to Canelo, and I just thought it was funny because, like I said, Canelo, again, he understands English and he speaks English, you know, but it's the second language. We all understand that. It's a little broken, right? But you know, it's like it took him a while to kind of realize, like, oh, I'm getting this. You know, you're talking trash to me. Trash. It's like you know, most of our grandmas speak nothing but Spanish, right? Man. And like we say something in English and they might not really get it, but they're like, oh, you're talking back, you know, like it dawns on them, you know, like, oh, you're getting smart with me, like, oh, okay. So it was just funny where Canelo realized, like, hey, he was getting dissed and he got up real quick, you know. But you know, it's gonna be an exciting fight, man. I think unfortunately, like Steph said, Jaime Munguia is the one that's being lost in all this. Like Jaime Munguia is almost an afterthought, you know, because everyone's talking about Oscar. and Canelo. And Jaime Munguia is a capable fighter, right? He's undefeated. He's like 44-0, something like that. And like I said, I've said it before on this show. His resume isn't nothing to be, to glare at. He's fought a lot of fighters in Mexico, built his record. Again, he's another typical Mexican style fighter as far as he didn't have an extensive amateur background. So a lot of his fights were early in his career, young. He built up an undefeated record with a lot of unknowns and no big names. But lately he has fought, like I said, his biggest win was John Ryder. He stopped him, which Canelo took the distance with John Ryder, who's a very tough European fighter. So Jaime Munguia deserves this. I mean, I know everybody wants to see the Benavidez fight. We got that. Everybody knows that. But Munguia is a very capable, tough fighter, young, strong, hungry, ready. I mean, we could get into it again a little bit later, but we saw the upset with Devin and Ryan Garcia.
But now Devin Haney's undefeated.
Well,
not undefeated.
It's in question now. It's in question, but it's in question. Yeah, anything can happen in boxing. At the end of the day, boxing is the theater of the unexpected, as I always say. So anything can happen. I'm not saying that Munguia can't win. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to. Yeah, I mean, it could. I'm not saying that Munguia has no chance. I would never say that. Like, any fighter gets in the ring, especially somebody that's as capable as Munguia. He has Freddie Roach in his corner, very established trainer, very accomplished trainer, right?
Pacquiao's corner for years.
Freddie Roach is again, man. We're talking boxing on Fridays, and I love these shows because we can go old school. We can go into a rabbit hole, and we know, Freddie Roach came up with Johnny Tapia back in the day.
The weigh-ins.
Okay. Oh, so what do we have right now? Just breaking from Dan Raphael, weigh-ins.
Did they make weight?
What
do you got?
Yeah, so it said the closed door row weigh-in is happening now. Media wrongly not allowed to attend, so we play games. Per source in the room, Canelo Alvarez, 166.8 pounds. Jaime Munguia, 167.4 for Alvarez's undisputed super middleweight title.
Yeah, so they're super middleweight, 168. They're both in weight. They're both at the range they need to be. But yeah, so you're talking about Freddie Roach as a trainer. He came up with Johnny Tapia back in the day, and then again he came world acclaimed with Manny Pacquiao. So Mario Cavazzo says Oscar's dressing all nice like the Mexican Derek Zoolander.
He's gonna do the blue steel.
Yeah. No. So again, man, Freddie Roach, very accomplished trainer. He actually trained Oscar at the end of his career also. So Jaime Munguia was trained by Eric Morales before. So and now he's with Freddie Roach. Again, man, Canelo, he's 33. I'm not saying he's old, but he's been in a lot of ring wars. He's been in a lot of fights. He struggled with Bivol, where he lost that one, which I thought it was just a bad style matchup. Bivol is a big light heavyweight that boxes and moves.
Not used to fighting that heavy, dude.
No, he's not used to fighting that heavy. And a fighter like Bivol, who's more of a technician, he's a technical guy. He's gonna jab, he's gonna move, he's gonna box you. So Bivol was just a horrible matchup for Canelo. And he was 175. He was bigger. So people who are looking at Munguia to win or upset are probably looking at hey, maybe Canelo's lost a step, which it happens, right? Hey, 33 doesn't sound old, but in the boxing ring, when you've had 60 fights or whatnot, that's a lot. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body. So
the thing is, I think with Canelo is that the question is the quality of fighter that he's been fighting as of late. He started to pick it back up as far as the getting fights that he knows, okay, these guys are actually going to give me some type of run. But I think Canelo too, he got a little bit lazy, dude, especially with that one fight that he had in Mexico with a smaller ring and whatnot. He should have dispatched that fighter easily, but what happened? Still went the distance. The people in Mexico were a little disappointed. Because
Ryder, I think it was John Ryder. We're talking about John Ryder, which Munguia stopped him. So and again, man, I think it's the evolution of certain fighters. It goes back to Sugar Ray Leonard and even before, where you get to a certain stature, and I'm not trying to make excuses for Canelo, but when you come up, he fought everybody. He fought the Mosleys, the Cottos, he fought everybody that they put in front of him, Mayweather when he was younger and all that. You get to a certain superstar status where
you can pick what you want.
Kind of, you're your own boss. It goes back to, we were talking about promoters. When promoters are
they're just working smarter, not harder. Like, why do I have to prove myself when I've proven myself time after time after time in the regular size ring? Whenever, hey, we're gonna go to Mexico, these people paid for 12 rounds, so let's just give them a show while considering my health and my safety. And I'm gonna pick and choose what I want because he can do that now.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that fight that happened in Mexico.
Yeah, and that's that's what happens is, like I said, you're the A side, you get to pick and choose, and hey, this is but like I said, this has been going on for years. Like it just now, because of just like anything else, social media, exemplar, or how do you say it? Like just shows everything more. Like it exaggerates everything. You see everything more.
Look at this comment here from Mario Cavazos. He said, "How old was Julio Cesar Chavez when he started losing it? In his late 30s." But the thing with Chavez, though, is he was actually fighting fighters that were younger than him and in their primes.
Yeah,
Chavez was losing a little step. But the thing is, Chavez is that dog, dude. He's not going to back down. And even though he might have not been the same fighter, he still took on those fights.
Yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez, again, greatest Mexican fighter of all time, my legend. I mean, I started my earliest memories as a kid is watching Julio Cesar Chavez fights. Those were like holidays at my house.
Mexican style.
I don't ever remember my family getting together more than Chavez fights. But to Mario Cavazos' point, I don't think he was that late. I mean, when he fought Pernell Whitaker in 1993 in San Antonio, by the way, and Jesse James Leija was on that undercard against Azuma Nelson, which ended up being a draw, which was weird.
Well, I remember that one with Azuma Nelson.
Well, yeah, no, the funny thing was, crazy thing about that, and I wish Leija was here so we could talk to him about it, was originally they announced it as an Azuma Nelson win, and then they came back and saw an error on the scorecards and reread it and said it was a draw. Yeah. So it was wild, but I want to say Chavez was 33, 34, and we could look it up, but I can't remember on the top of my head, because when he fought Pernell Whitaker is when he kind of started losing a little bit of step. He lost 33. A little bit of step. He wasn't that late in his 30s, right? But that was the start of a drop. And then like Pernell Whitaker is oh my God, he's a pound for pound legend. So there's no shame in well, there was a draw technically, but really Whitaker outboxed him. But and then he ended up losing to Frankie Rando in 1994. But late in Chavez's career, when he was losing to the Cassius and like the guys who wouldn't have beat him in his prime, it was later in his 30s, probably into his 40s. But I mean, again, Canelo, for being 33 and for being in all the wars he's in, he's still at the top of his game. He's still at the top of his division. Again, I think and I said it here. I said it before they announced this fight. I said the Munguia was going to be May, and I still think that September is Benavidez. I really do.
Still think so?
I think so.
I think they can make it work, dude. Yeah. You know what? Freaking Canelo likes to talk trash because he's like, hey, I can fight Munguia and I can fight you
absolutely
on the same night.
He's making a I saw that. Yeah.
Come on. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn well you can. After you fight, you go 12 rounds, 11 rounds. I mean,
that's just no. I don't care how. No fighter can do that, right? Like you can't. I remember one time Roy Jones, he played basketball the same day he had a fight or something like that, and it was kind of this like thing showing like I can do this and still have a fight, which is it's impressive, but obviously he's saying things that are outlandish to the effect of, well, I could fight them both on the same night. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, listen, man, it's going to be a good fight. I'm excited. I mean, hey, the crew, I don't know if the crew's down, right? Joe, you're going to have the projector
in the backyard.
The projector is going to be here at Joe's house. Hey, man, and y'all are welcome. Right, we're gonna have some drinks, we're gonna have some food. I would love to have a gathering. I would love to have some folks get together. I said I'm in town for the weekend. Me and Steph are chilling. If we could get together and watch the fight, man, let's do it. Let's do it. There's an open invitation. Yeah.
Hey, the thing is too, man, I've been able to cut my grass. Everybody giving me shit.
I know.
Because my front axle on my lawnmower, it broke.
Yeah.
So I had to order my part, and it was on back order. I barely got it yesterday.
Someone bring a lawnmower.
I fixed my lawnmower yesterday. I got the part in. So we're gonna actually be cutting grass today. So we're gonna be in my boy.
Bring your teenagers.
There you go.
So front and the back.
Yeah.
Hey, if somebody has any goats, man, you want to lend me? We're doing Mexican stuff.
Hey, but just real quick, Joe. Not only we got the Canelo Munguia, we have a good undercard. We have a good undercard.
Hey, San Antonio
zone. Mario Barrios, Aztec Warrior. He's in who he's fighting is Chino Maidana's brother.
Really?
Remember Marcos Maidana, right? I know y'all remember Marcos Maidana. He gave Floyd all he can handle. I know y'all know Marcos Maidana. He put Broner on his ass.
I remember that.
So Fabian Maidana is Chino Maidana's younger brother, and he's fighting Mario Barrios on the undercard in the co-main event.
Man, the Midtown Texas has me freaking laughing, dude.
¿Qué dice?
Can we go by?
Can we go by 1 a.m. like
Like Mike showing up all late to the party?
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
they
you know
wear
what we
eyeballs,
yeah.
bro. So you go in the backyard, and one of the neighbors might shoot you, but you're welcome.
It's gonna be in
Hanover
Vegas.
Fist asked where the fight is taking place. It's in Vegas. It'll be in Vegas.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be like overseas in Saudi
Nope,
or nothing.
nope. It's in
happening at
Vegas, man.
noon.
Normal time.
Yeah.
Yep. Vegas fight.
Monday, there's a fight on
Monday, Monday's an overseas fight. The Inoue,
That's wild.
the monster, the Japanese monster, Inoue. Let me tell you, man. And I'm a junkie. I will wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. or whatever to watch Inoue, who weighs like 122 pounds or something like that, to fight in Japan. But I'm telling you, man, that dude is a beast. That dude is a monster. He's literally a monster.
I saw him in his last fight.
Yeah.
He was impressive.
Yeah. Inoue is a beast. He's fighting. It's gonna be Monday morning here at about probably like 6 a.m., 5
Dude,
a.m.,
you're gonna
something
be
like
waking
that.
up at
I'll
like
be
4
up.
Cali
I'm gonna be
time?
up. No, I'll be here. I'll still be here.
Okay.
Monday. So last time he fought, I was in Cali, and I probably woke up like at 2 or 3 a.m. to watch that because it was Cali's.
Hey, so that's gonna be making you breakfast with morning mimosas.
I ain't never shying away from that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never shying away from that. I actually got excited when I saw that I was still gonna be here Monday because I'm flying out Monday night back to San Diego. Yeah, I was like, oh man, the Japan fight is Monday morning for
God,
us.
dude. They're freaking roasting Mike right
¿Qué
now.
dice? ¿Qué dice?
You
Mario
should have had the
Cavazos.
real one.
My coconut Jimenez, pull the weeds.
He does yard work. No mames, Mike. No mames.
Man.
Hey, he's on a plane. He got on a plane
Yeah.
yesterday.
He's going to New Orleans. Yeah. Hey, good segue from our man Matthew Lerma. What do we think about Ryan Garcia? What do you think?
This drama with Ryan Garcia, I mean, the guy's just been acting all sorts of weird since the fight began. Before even the fight started, he was acting like this. Because, of course, man, he's a showman. So he gets everybody talking. He gets the eyes on him. I mean, love him or hate him, the guy knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, if he does come out, dirty, which it looks like he is, that's a disgrace to the sport. And not only is it a disgrace to the sport that you came in doing something that you shouldn't have, you cheated.
Yeah.
You also came in overweight. I'm like, bro, take it serious or get the hell out of here, dude. Because you have fighters that are actually going in that ring, and like Haney said, they're putting their lives in the line. Every time they go in there to entertain people. And you're taking it as, it's just funny, dude. Yeah, I came in overweight. Who cares? I still won 12 million.
Right.
It's not the point, dude. Other fighters are looking at what you're doing. And if you want to fight the best, do you think they're going to want to go and fight you? Because they're going to like, why do I want to fight this dude? It's going to be a clown show.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I mean, there's a certain level of, let's say, excellence that you look for, professionalism. When you're fighting another fighter, you're going to trash talk. It's part of the game. But at the end of the day, you got to take it serious, man. You can't just be going in there acting a fool, because, I mean, Ryan Garcia right now, to me, he's a loose cannon.
Yeah. What do you think, baby?
I mean, I think the same thing, too. But then on top of that, like, we can't just be like, be okay with an excuse that he's going to make. Like, I've seen, like, oh, just say this or, oh, just say that, then like, and let's move on. Like, no, let's not move on. Let's put some respect on what you guys consider a dying sport, which it obviously isn't, because look at all the drama, look at all the views that it's getting. No, like, you say you're a grown-ass man, be a grown-ass man, take accountability and be better. Like that's just, I mean, is he a good fighter? Yeah, but why? Like, are you really going to keep on being dirty? Like, I go back to it. Like, even my 11-year-old daughter was like, I can't believe you went back, and you didn't go for Ryan. And I'm like, this is why I didn't go for Ryan. Like, look, he's dirty. Like, he's not disciplined. He thinks it's a joke. He thinks it's funny. No, and the same thing that we said, we got all these other guys that are really giving it their all, really trying, cutting weight, struggling. And he's just like, oh, this is just another game for me.
But people don't know that you've actually are Stuart. You're a fan of boxing. You've been watching boxing for quite some time. You have brothers, right? You grew up with the family.
I mean, yes. I mean, I have nothing but brothers. I have 0 sisters. My daughter, when she was, teeny tiny, we put her in boxing, along with her dad doing some boxing. And then obviously this man over here, we're just a big boxing family. And so whenever it comes to really like looking back and enjoying like the 24/7s and seeing what they went through, I really wish they would go back to that so we can, I don't know, just give that's the one thing that I do miss about the HBO boxing. Or did it come out on Showtime?
No,
I
it's
guess
HBO.
Showtime.
It's HBO. No, you're right. 24/7. So HBO.
Yeah.
Showtime had their own called like All Access, but
Oh,
it was
yeah.
still very similar. But 24/7 was the original, which was Floyd. It started with the Floyd Oscar in 2007. But yeah, going back to the Ryan thing is like, it's sad actually, because that was a great win for Ryan. That really was, man. Like that was an amazing win. Yeah, it was an impressive win. He I mean, Devin Haney is a great fighter, is a really great fighter. So for Ryan to beat him the way he did was extremely impressive.
Knocked him down.
Knocked him down several times. I mean, Ryan, and like I said, and I'll admit, I had Devin winning. I didn't have Ryan winning, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I had Ryan winning, but I can appreciate watching that and saying like, wow, what a performance, what an amazing performance from a young, talented kid who realizes talent. Right. But then for this to come out and like, oh, well, he popped and maybe, and then he's saying, well, I had low, it taints it. You know what I mean? So Amir Khan, was suspended for 2 years for the same thing that Ryan popped for, the Ostertane or whatever it's called. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, I think, I don't think what he took made him win the fight, because I mean, at the end of the day, like he beat Devin. Devin wasn't, was taking those punches and all that, but you do gain an extra advantage. I mean, there's a reason why it's banned in the state. You came up dirty. I mean, it is. I mean, that's what it is. So I don't know. I mean, I've seen these things go different ways. I've seen fights get reversed to like a no contest if somebody pops like that. So it could take away from his win. It could end up being in the record book a no contest, basically, like it never happened.
I'm surprised he didn't come back dirty for Coco or something, dude. I mean,
we knew he was on something, man. And he's just, and like I said, man, he's a showman, he's a businessman. I give him props and give him credit. I mean, the dude sold the fight, he acted crazy.
For the kids,
he acted crazy, but it's it's almost one of those where it's like he acted crazy and he wasn't, so he was really sly as a fox, but he's probably crazy, you know what I mean? Anyway, so at the end of the day, like it's like you're crazy because you were pretending to be crazy and you fooled everybody, so you're crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Like that makes me not like the guy.
Yeah, it's too much, bro. It's too much. Like, this ain't WWE. You know what I'm saying, dog? This ain't WWE, dog. This is, you don't got to do all that. Now the thing about it though is, from a business standpoint and a marketing standpoint, I mean, it's smart. I mean, because everyone's talking about it. You got people who don't know anything about boxing that are talking about Ryan Garcia.
They were talking about him 24/7. How many?
Yeah, exactly.
How many of the big 4-letter networks like the ESPNs, FS1s, were talking about Haney?
Right.
They were saying, "Oh yeah, it's the upcoming Haney."
Yeah.
And Ryan Garcia fight.
Yeah.
But when you were talking about it, who were they talking about? Garcia.
Oh yeah,
we're talking about Ryan Garcia. We're talking about Ryan Garcia.
Sure.
Why?
Yeah,
because of all his antics.
Yeah. And there's only so many few crossover stars, and we talked about this before on the show, where junkies like me will enjoy the boxers who are just good, pure boxers, right? And all that, and junkies like us, But when it comes to crossover stars, you like the Tysons, or the Alis, the Tysons, Sugar Ray Leonard, right? Like the mainstream stars, right? Like Pacquiao's, Mayweather's. And now in this day and age of social media and, all that kind of stuff, Ryan, I mean, he's playing to a certain crowd. He's playing to, he's not playing to the hardcore junkie boxing crowd. He's playing to the younger Instagram, TikTok crowd, which from a business standpoint isn't a bad idea. Like I get what he's doing from a business standpoint and a marketing standpoint, but, when it goes down, when it ends up, when all things are said and done, it's going to be like, he was just it was a novelty act. You know what I mean? It's just like a novel. It ends up, you take away from the pureness of boxing, unfortunately.
Yeah, too bad. Ryan probably would have won without the.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think he would have won anyway without that. That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, it taints a win that really shouldn't, because I think that night Ryan was just undeniable. He was focused. He was ready. So I think he would have won without those peds, right?
I mean, it does say that like you can gain 5 to 7 pounds of muscle in a 6-week cycle.
Well, when you remember, we were talking about, you see his body when he fought Tank Davis versus his body that night. It's different, man. Like it's totally different. He is weight drained against Tank Davis. He's skinny. He's all flaquito, dude. He's bones, dog. Like, and then when you see him against the Haney fight, he's solid. He's ready. So I don't know if it had anything to do with the PEDs, and I really don't. But yeah, cheating. What did Mark about cheating the weight and juice lifetime ban? McGregor. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then again, he disrespected the sport by saying, "Well, I'm not going to come into weight." Like the point about boxing is like you have to work hard to make those weights. You know what I mean? Like there, and that's nothing new. I mean, there's always been fighters. Gaddy was famous for this, where he would drain himself to 135, 140, but he walked around at like 180. You know,
what
160.
people forget about dirty fighters, man. Remember Miguel Cotto?
Yeah.
What did they catch him with? Putting plaster on his.
No, Margarito.
That was Margarito.
Margarito. It was against Cotto. It was against Cotto. Yeah.
But they caught him putting the plaster on his hands.
That was wild. That's wild.
Crazy,
that's
dude.
wild. Yeah. So you had Antonio Margarito against Cotto, where they put the plaster and they found.
Activated.
Yeah, exactly. So there was that type of hand wrap where basically you wrap it, and when it starts getting wet, it turns into like almost a cast. Like a plaster
that's
cast.
Like cement, man.
And that's cement. Yeah, exactly. Dude. And the crazy thing about that was when he fought Cotto, he knocked out Cotto, and then he fought Mosley. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley, and in Shane, one of Shane Mosley's cornermen, because for those of you who don't know about boxing, anytime the fighter gets their hand wraps in the corner, somebody from the other camp is there to watch. So somebody from the other camp comes into the training room or the dressing room and watches the hand wraps to make sure there's nothing funny, no funny business going on, right? Yeah. So
laced hand wraps.
Yeah. So Shane Mosley's cornerman noticed, like, hey, wait a minute, that something don't look right there, right? Nazir Richardson noticed, hey, something ain't right with those hand wraps, man. So they took them off, they redid them and all that. And then Shane Mosley beat him that day. And then that turned into, everybody realized that he was doing that with the plaster.
Even like in the pictures after the win of the photo, you could see like it's like cracked in half.
Boxing is already a brutal sport. It's already you're risking your life to get in the ring.
That can kill somebody, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, you really can. I don't know if you've ever seen there's a documentary called Assault in the Ring. It's about a fight from the 80s where a fighter, well, again, it's a controversy whether or not who did it, but basically the story goes, the trainer, Panama Lewis, took off some of the padding from the glove. And took out the padding. This is from the 80s, but it's an HBO documentary called Assault in the Ring. If you've never seen it, you should. He basically took the gloves, took padding out, and then they had the fight. And the fighter, it was Louis Resto, a fighter from New Jersey, from New York, the Bronx, kind of a journeyman guy, had a bunch of losses, really wasn't nobody big. And Billy Khan was the Irish young up and coming guy, and that Resto upset him and beat him, and it was like, wow, what a good upset, whatever. But after the fight, they realized that his gloves were tampered with. And they did an investigation, and he did time in prison for that, because it was literally considered an assault, like assault with a deadly weapon. Like, I'm telling you, it's called Assault in the Ring. It's a really good documentary. So he ended up doing time. Panama Lewis, the trainer who famously trained Aaron Pryor back in the day too, that was controversial, he got banned for the sport for life. Yeah, exactly. It was Irish kid. Hand over fist knows what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't know that story. It was an Irish kid, Billy Khan. And Louis Resto was banned from boxing, did time in prison for that. Literally, like it was called an assault with a deadly weapon. And Panama Lewis, the trainer, was banned from boxing forever. So point I'm trying to make is, like, you're already risking your life stepping in through those ropes. Just those gloves are 8 ounces, 8 and 10 ounces. Like, those, think about that. Those are pretty small gloves. You ever see those 8-ounce Reyes gloves, man? It's a pad and basically your fist, man. So getting hit over and over and over in your head, man, like, you want to talk about CTE and brain damage, man, it happens. So when you start getting another unfair advantage above that, whether it's weight, not making weight, whether it's PEDs, whether it's whatever, like, it's dangerous, man. That's dangerous.
If you want to see what really happens when they don't wear gloves, dude, I'm a fan of that bare knuckle fighting, dude. That is wild.
That's brutal, man. Brutal.
That's like caveman stuff.
That's brutal, man.
Putting them in the ring together.
Yeah.
They just going at it, dude. And you know what the weird thing is, when you're watching this bare knuckle fighting, they don't box.
No.
They fight.
Yeah.
You can't put your guard up when you're going bare knuckle. Yeah. You just gotta go. You gotta throw hands.
Yeah.
That's it's interesting to watch because of the difference in style, But I like watching both, man. But boxing, dude, is, everybody says boxing's back. I'm like, for the faithful, it's never left. Only the things changed is that you're getting a new generation of fighter coming in.
Yeah.
But it's never left.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, I like UFC. I like UFC too. It's a different vibe with UFC, but I've always been a fan of boxing. But boxing's never gone nowhere. The only thing that's changed is that a lot of the fan base now, oh, I want to go see UFC. I want to go and see that because it's highly promoted.
You're right. Right. Yeah. No, and you know, and I've people who know me know this. Like, I'm not a UFC guy. Like I said, I almost did like a silent protest when UFC first came onto the scene. Everybody was like jumping ship, and it's exciting, man. I've watched UFC, like I have, like I know it's exciting. I know it's fun. It's just, I mean, it's not my thing. Like I'm a boxing guy, but I think it's unfair. People say things like, oh, well, like UFC is better than boxing.
It's a different sport.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even the same. It's apples and oranges because UFC is not the sport. The sport is MMA.
Yeah.
The sport is MMA. Yeah. Right. Like, so if you want to compare all of MMA, and when I mean by like UFC, Bellator, or I don't know, all the different, there's different companies within for MMA. Comparing MMA to boxing as a whole, though, that's an accurate comparison in my opinion. But to compare UFC to boxing, because they're like, oh, well, in UFC, all the best fight each other. Well, yeah, because they're all under one banner, Dana White, right? Yeah. So, and I commend that. I commend UFC for that because everybody does want to see the best fight the best. And I will say, I think UFC coming on did make boxing realize, like, oh, we got to step up, right? So they started putting on better fights again and all that, but. Comparing UFC is a company. It's not the sport. The sport isn't called UFC. The sport is MMA.
It's like the NBA.
That's what I'm saying.
It's basketball.
Sure. Exactly. It's like, yeah. So comparing UFC to like Golden Boy Promotions or a certain company within boxing, that's an actual comparison, right? But yeah, to say like, oh, well, NBA versus just all of basketball, right? There's college, there's different levels or whatever. So I mean, that's just my argument. Whenever anybody tries to compare UFC to boxing and says, well, the reason why UFC is better than boxing is because UFC, they all fight each other, you know, all that kind of stuff. I agree that they all fight each other, and that's a beautiful thing, but it's easy when they're all under one banner. They're all under Dana White banner. So it's an unfair comparison to compare UFC to all of boxing. Compare MMA to boxing, that's different.
I mean, I do miss the BJ Penn era.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, and I've been watching more boxing than I have whenever, like, because I did watch a little bit of both, obviously. We do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too with Soph and everything. But no, like, I do miss, like, the griminess and, like, licking the blood off his gloves and everything. And, I mean, that's just what I like too. But then, what's I going to say? Oh, I lost my
lost your train of thought.
Because my kid is texting me.
At the end of the day, though, I'm sorry, you good?
No, you can go.
Oh, at the end of the day, there's nothing like a big boxing fight. Like that. That's the one thing. Like
I do remember. And the one thing why I stopped watching UFC so much because they don't pay their fighters anything.
They don't.
And
they
I'm
really
like,
don't. Yeah.
They get their asses beat. Like,
they really
crazy.
don't. Yeah.
And for just a little bit, like. Man,
they really don't get paid. They really don't. They don't get paid a lot.
Fight of the night,
well, yeah, the biggest stars, you know, but yeah, they really don't.
Even the biggest ones don't get paid as much as boxers do.
Right. That's true. And and that's the thing is at the end of
Dana keeps that purse.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like I think, you know, a lot of the UFC fights are entertaining and they're fun to watch. So it's like a short burst of entertainment, you know, and I feel like the younger generation is you know, we want instant gratification. You know what I'm saying?
Short attention span.
Yeah, exactly. It's TikTok. It's small, right? We want short video. You know, somebody shows me a video that's like, oh, it's 5 minutes long. Watch this. I'm not sitting there watching that. Like, you know, I don't have time for that. Yeah, but these, and I think that's where it kind of manifests itself from, where UFC is short. It's shorter rounds. They kick ass. There's blood. I understand the appeal. Like I really do. I understand why people watch it and it's exciting and it's fun. But to me, it's just a short-lived thing. Whereas boxing, and again, for purists who love boxing, I could sit there and watch a 12-round fight that's jabbing and moving, and you can appreciate the art, you know. But the good boxing cards kind of have the mixture, right? Where you have some wars, and that's why you got to watch the whole undercard. See the problem with a lot of casual fans is they only watch the main event. And there's a lot of good undercard fights. And Joe and I talk about this all the
Exactly, man.
time, where there's exciting undercard fights that just, they're not big names. So nobody knows them, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be fun and exciting.
Some
you know
of
what I
those
mean?
undercards, man. Those fighters are in
Yeah,
the ring throwing hands.
yeah,
dude.
they're coming up, bro. They're
Yeah.
trying to make a name for themselves. So they are going out of their way to be exciting, right?
And
So
those super featherweight
oh,
fights.
bro, yeah,
man.
and usually it is those lighter weights,
Yeah.
those lighter weight divisions. But you know, again, at the end of the day, I think no matter what, boxing has its issues. But I love boxing, man. I'm a diehard, but there's a lot of issues in boxing. There's referees, you know, there's judging issues, there's promotion issues, there's fighters don't, you know, Mayweather and Floyd and Pacquiao took 5 years past when they should have fought. Like, I understand that there's a lot of problems in boxing.
Chris Gonzalez's comment too. Down.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
Chris Gonzalez
Yeah.
too. He's saying
Love
that.
me some of the bantamweights.
Yeah,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah. Those little dudes, man, 118, 122, 100, man, they throw down, bro.
Yeah.
They throw down like it's nobody's business.
And
so
the
yeah.
women fighters too, dude. The
Oh
women
yeah.
boxers.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. You have, you know, Super Bad and Amanda Serrano and Michaela
They don't mess
Myler and all
around,
those,
dude.
man. Yeah. Like the Guo, exactly. Clarissa Shields, like those fighters, those female fighters, man, throw down. So, you know, at the end of the day, like, I think it's apples and I think they both can coexist. I don't think one has to outdo the other. I'd say, hey, UFC can do their thing and have their fans and enjoy their success. Good on them. But boxing's still gonna have a success, bro. Boxing has been dead since I can't remember when, since the 90s and 2000s. After Tyson, it was like, oh, boxing's dead, right? Boxing always has lows. I will say this: I think the height of boxing is usually when we have an American heavyweight champion. I think that's because Americans like the bigger fighters, right? Like a lot of Americans,
boys.
a lot of Americans don't like the 112-pound guys from Japan. You know, like it's hard to get excited for that. So most American fans like a big heavyweight champion. So whenever you look at the height of boxing in America, it's when we've had an American heavyweight champion. You know, Ali, Foreman, Frazier, you know, Tyson. You see what I'm saying? Like when
Holyfield.
Holyfield, exactly. Yeah, when we have an American, I think that's one of the things like a lot of fans have been turned off in when we had the Lennox Lewis's, the Klitschko's, even now with Tyson Fury. If it's not an American heavyweight, it kind of like you don't get too excited about it.
Even
So
Triple G when he was coming up.
yeah, exactly. So or an American star, you know what I mean? So again, when you have the Floyd and Pacquiao wasn't American, but he fought in America so much that everybody got behind him, you know. So either you're an American star or you're a foreign guy like Pacquiao who was embraced by Americans, or Triple G. Triple G was embraced by Americans and Mexicans. He said Mexican style, exactly. So, but you know, and again, that goes back to our conversation about promoting and promotions, right? Like, you got a promotion company has to kind of sell a fighter and make them and develop them. You know what I mean?
This comment, dude. This bro, he has me dying.
Yeah.
Bro.
Shout out to Tommy Machine Gun. Hey,
No.
hey, you know what's funny about that is so Tommy Gun. He's I know he's
Tommy
referring the Rocky 5.
Yeah.
Right. The Rocky 5 movie where Tommy Gunn was Rocky's
Out in the
protege.
streets.
Yeah. So, but the guy that played Tommy Gunn is Tommy Morrison.
Yep.
He's a real fighter.
Yep.
Tommy the Duke Morrison. They build him as a descendant of John Wayne, the Duke, or whatever, right? I don't know if that's true, if he was or not, right? So, but Tommy Morrison was like that great white hope American heavyweight in the 90s. He was hard hitting, you know, he was, you know, good to look at. He was, you know, people loved him. And they promoted him well, you know, he sold, you know, a lot of fights. But when it came down to it, you know, he got, man, Ray Mercer beat the shit out of him.
They said, rest in peace, HIV got him.
It did. Yeah, that's what I was getting at that, man, is eventually he ended up with HIV. And it's a sad story, man. There's so many, that's the thing about boxing too. There's so many sad stories, man. There's so many sad stories, man. You have, you know, you hear about guys like Rocky Lockridge and Meldrick Taylor, who were like Philly stars back in the day and Olympians and champions who end up in prison or homeless. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. You want to hear some sad stories, man? I saw Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe was one of the heavyweights of the 90s. You know, he had some great fights with Holyfield. I saw him in Vegas. I saw him in Vegas a little while last year. Steph and I went to the Garcia Tank Ryan Ryan last year, and I saw Riddick Bowe in the lobby of a
OG.
hotel. OG Riddick Bowe, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sad, man. I went up to him, I talked to him, I said, hey man, I would love to take a picture with you. And he was like, you got $20?
Oh,
No,
bro.
I'm dead serious, bro. He was
Yeah.
like, you got $20? And like,
I didn't recognize him.
yeah, I didn't have any cash on me, right? But Steph did. But I was like, that's kind of sad. And I go, hey man, I don't have any cash on me. He goes, hey, we'll keep it moving. I was like, damn,
Wow.
yeah, bro. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it was sad that he was there just trying to make money off of people to take a picture or an autograph with him because he's so broke that he basically hangs around the casinos during fight weekends, during fights, and trying to get money from people to take a picture or anything because fight fans are going to recognize Riddick Bowe, but he's older, man, and he walks really slow. It's just sad, man, to see that, it really is.
Look at what Matt Lerma says. He says, do you all think the Creed movies are on par with the Rocky movies? I don't know, dude. I kind of think Creed is its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like for a different generation, Rocky was still involved with the movies, but on the latest one, he wasn't there, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Creed movies are
They're
great
still
to
good.
watch.
Hey, the latest one that they had, that photography, the cinematography they had when they were in the ring with the boxers fighting. Wow, bro, that was fire, man.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
The angles.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to start bringing the show to a close here, bro. But final thoughts here. What do you got versus Munguia? Canelo?
Ooh, I got Canelo. I think a safe bet would be a decision, but I say Canelo might stop him late. I think Canelo might stop him late. Maybe like 10. Maybe like 10. I think Canelo can stop him in about 10. Conventional wisdom says he might just take him the distance. He might, but I'll go maybe 10. Jaime Munguia, the thing about him is, man, he's not hard to hit. He's there to be hit. He's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring the action. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some good early moments. Chris Gonzalez says Canelo in 7. I mean, hey, no, that ain't off. I think Munguia being young is gonna have some moments. And he's going to jump on Canelo and maybe make it interesting at first. And people are going to be like, oh, you never know.
I think he's going to get him early, dude.
But I think you think Canelo's going to get him early?
No.
Or Munguia? Yeah. I think so. I think Munguia is going to come out swinging. And here's the thing. If you come out swinging like that, you might get caught early. Mm-hmm. So, Canelo may catch him early. But I think Canelo stops him. I would say about 9 or 10 rounds. It's gonna be fun though, man. I'm excited about the Mario Barrios undercard fight, which is the co-main event. Hey, that's gonna be good. San Antonio's own, so definitely watch that one.
I just want to see if he's gonna be wearing I call them the cursed Fiesta colors. Every time he
comes out with
colors, he always loses the fight. I'm like, bro, leave that at home, man.
But I'll tell you, man, going back to the Leija, man, Jesse James, Mario Barrios don't ever turn down a fight. He won't turn down a fight. Now the dude is like 6 foot. He has a good reach. I just want him to use the reach, man. You know what I mean? Use your reach, bro. Use your job. I know he's puro. He's puro, bro. Like he goes back. He starts getting into a war, bro. He thinks he's at fucking Fiesta. You know what I'm saying? He thinks at Niosa going to war. So for me, I think I would like Mario Barrios to use his reach a little bit, man, and jab, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he's gonna be puro. He's gonna go to war. Matthew Lerma says he's got Munguia by unanimous decision. Hey, man, I'm ready to put some money, bro. I'm ready to put some money, Matt. Let's do this. Let's do this live and in camera, bro. Let's put some money on this.
That Rick is a man of his word. If you make a bet,
I'll pay you. I'll tell you, man. I bet. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I put 500 on Ryan to beat Tank Davis last year, and I lost that bet, and I paid. I paid that bet, bro. I'll tell you, I was trying to find somebody to bet me Ryan and Devin. And I'm glad they didn't take me on that because I was fishing. Yeah, I put a G. I put a G on Devin to beat Ryan, and I'm glad nobody took that bet. Because they didn't take it. You know what I'm saying? But
like Steph, man,
I know.
Gonna be eating
I know. Yeah, exactly. Hey, we ain't having no more mimosas. You know what I'm saying? No, man, I love it, man. I think it's fun. It makes for a fun. It makes the fights fun to put a little money down. But hey, Matt, I'm down to put some money, bro. You got my number, dog. Let me know. It's gonna be fun. At the end of the day, it's gonna be fun. All Mexican showdown, Cinco de Mayo weekend. Like, you can't get any better than that, man.
We're gonna have to drink some tequila.
Yeah, you can't get any better than that, man. Cinco de Mayo weekend, Canelo Munguia, boxing, man. It doesn't get any better than that.
I'll be there with the Pucanes.
Yeah.
I'm not doing tequila.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Still doesn't want to do tequila.
No.
Está asustada.
No. I gotta drive.
The thing with tequila, the tequila is the Mexican truth serum, dude.
Yeah.
When you start drinking that,
Yeah.
the truth comes
Yeah.
out, man. It comes out.
Hey, though, real talk, man. Before we end the show, we got a lot of, it'd be cool to get a gathering together. Joe has graciously opened up his
I like
home.
that, dude. We used to do this too with some of my buddies when we'd get like 34.
Oh, absolutely.
And we'd pay, hey, let's pay $5 each or something
Yeah.
like that for each round.
The rounds. Oh, absolutely.
And then what we do is we tear a piece of paper
Yeah,
and we put
absolutely.
the rounds in
Of
there,
course.
random.
Oh, bro, that's bro.
What do you got?
Bro,
Whatever you
listen,
get in the hat, that's
Listen,
it.
I got 12th for the Ryan Guard fight. That's why. So Ryan Devin, I lost money on Ryan and Devin because I had Devin, but I made it back because I had the 12th round.
Hey, I'm gonna have to get some
in my
out
pot.
then, dude.
No,
We're gonna
no.
be ready for Saturday.
Oh, no. Who said that about the thing? Was that
Mario
Cavazos? Mario
Cavazos.
Cavazos?
He's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be here too,
Oh,
man.
oh, bro, that's like a given. Like old school Mexicanos know that, bro.
man.
We do the rounds, bro.
Come on.
You cut 1 through 12, you put it in a hat, and you take the
Vamos.
rounds, bro. And
$5.
we can do 10, 5, 10, 20. We could do it. Hey, we could do it, bro. Like I'm down. Let's do it. Absolutely. So real talk. Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt's got Munguia. Hey, Matt, come out to Joe's. Come out to Joe's Saturday night and let's watch the fight. If Mario Cavazos is down to come watch a fight, Sith, he's out of town, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's out of town
is
or whatever.
out of
Okay,
town,
yeah.
bro.
Hey, listen, real talk. I'm in town. I'm in here from San Diego for the weekend. Steph and I are gonna be here. Yeah, come through Joe's, man, and let's watch the fight. Hit us up. We could talk offline and let's get some food together, some
Yeah.
drinks. Let's do it,
Yeah,
man.
he's
I
got a lot of drink already.
yeah, he's got a lot of drinks. Yeah, Joe's got a lot of drinks. But man, let's do it, man. I definitely, this is an
Bring
open
some
invite.
mixers.
It's an open
Yeah.
invite,
Oh, I
man,
got
to
that too.
Joe's place, man. Let's watch. He's gonna have the projector. He's gonna have the big ass projector outside. Watch the fight. Let's do it.
Steph, you gonna be good, Mama, because you all might need an Uber to get back home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is my Uber right here. My Uber is right here. She's not only pretty, she's my Uber.
There
You know.
go. It's your protector right
Mhm,
there. Make
mhm.
sure you get home safe, man. Good,
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely. Hey, we got First Friday tonight. We'll be in
First Friday.
Southtown tonight. If you're in Southtown for First Friday, find us. We'll be there. First Friday's a vibe. It's always a good time, man.
I know you're gonna stop by that bar.
So go
right?
gimme, of course.
Of
We're gonna
course.
be at Gimme. The Gallo Negro, our man Aaron. Shout out to him, the owner of Gimme. We'll be there. If you guys are out in Southtown, by all means, man, come find us. We'll be there.
Just don't get too crazy because I'm gonna have my team and I will set you straight.
Oh my
So,
god,
but other than that, we good, guys?
we good.
Yeah, we good.
All right, we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend,
Thank you,
boys.
guys.
We
Appreciate
out.
you guys.
Peace.